to Sworn the 402. Welcome to the Nebraska Hawks Nest. These guys are brave. They're Hawkeyes living in enemy territory. Listen, these guys are way past their prime, but they're still Hawkeyes. They're spreading the Hawkeye hype to all of Nebraska. The frost advisory is canceled. Cornhuskers, more like corn suckers. Are you ready for this podcast? Let's go Hawks!
All right, welcome back to the Nebraska Hawks Nest, your Hawkeye oasis located in a nasty little Nebraska desert. You think that your football program has the best equipment managers in the country? There is only one best crew in the land. That's it, and it resides in Iowa City, Iowa. Yes, and the boys are here to join us. Welcome the Iowa Football Equipment Managers, aka the best crew in the land. Boys, how we doing today?
We're good. We're really good, Adam.
Happy to be here.
How you doing?
We're good. We're good. Other than being in Nebraska, which we turn into a positive whenever we can, because we're here to spread the Hawkeye gospel. Like you guys know, we're trying to spread the black and gold wide across the country. So things are going well here. Jerry, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well today too, and I'm excited about this one because when we live in Nebraska, the sight of that trailer crossing the Missouri River into Omaha. It's kind of like everybody else, like little kids tracking Santa on Christmas Eve. We love tracking that trailer when it's on its way, and we know the Hawkeyes are coming. So
we don't like going over there, but you guys are fighting the good fight all the time.
Well, we like seeing you guys. So maybe it's only a one way thing here with us, but it's always a welcome sight. But let's go ahead and get this started, guys. Go ahead and let's name some names here. What are what year are you in college? Where are you from? What are you studying? Your horoscope sign, anything you want to tell us?
Just don't give Jerry your social security number.
Yes, I'll start it. My name is Brock Hillers. I'm from Manchester, Iowa. I am a senior here at the University of Iowa, studying finance, and this will be my fourth season with the Hawks.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Nolan Davis. I'm originally from Williamsburg. I just finished my fourth season. I'm a grad student here. All of my games and my falls are behind me, so I'm on my way out here. But yeah, that's me. It's been a great 4 years here, I'll tell you that. It's flown by too.
And then I'm Matt Condon. I'm also a grad student. I'm in my second semester. I'll be going into my fifth year as a student manager next fall. And I'm from Cedar Rapids, but unfortunately, I am from Nebraska. I was born in Omaha, but then moved here when I was 2. So
okay, all right,
that's all right. You moved to greener pastures, or let's say black and gold pastures. So we won't hold that against you.
Well, kudos to your parents for doing what's best for the family.
Exactly.
They figured it out. They got off to a shaky start, but they rehabilitated.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's all you got to do is learn from your mistakes, and it's a good thing. So we got one more member of the crew. We might not be able to get to meet him right this second, but he's pretty famous among Hawkeye fans. He's such a likable guy, very hard worker. Max, is he in the building?
He's coming around. He's
okay.
Drag him in here right now.
He's a little camera shy, but he loves it. He loves being in the spotlight. He'll never admit it, but we'll get him in here.
Okay.
Well, when you're the guy not in the room, you're the guy everybody's talking about. So is there any way we should set him up before he gets here or anything?
You can hear him in the laundry room fighting it right now. If this podcast he doesn't get in on here, we'll chase him with the camera. We'll get him.
He's probably like, you guys are wasting your time with this interview. I'm actually working and doing stuff.
He's in there scrolling Facebook. That's all he's doing.
Here's
the man.
You're unavailable. You're eating a sandwich.
There he is. There he is. The star Max.
Max.
Hey, there he is.
And,
There's
another cameo from the one and only Greg Morris back there.
He's got 2 sandwiches in his hands and he's working.
Attaboy. Hey, it's lunchtime is close. He's getting ready.
Max has got free lunch and then he's got lunch.
That's great. I love it.
You know what we normally do, guys, with our interviews is let's start at the beginning and how, what got you interested in becoming managers, and where did it start? Was it athletic backgrounds or was it interest in other areas? And you go ahead and start. We'll go ahead and let you start, Brock.
Yeah, actually, just grew up a Hawkeye fan my whole life. So that's the first connection. My uncle was an athletic trainer here for over 40 years, John Streif, and so that was my avenue in here, and he hooked me up a bit, and I loved it. I've always dreamed of being with the team, so it was a no doubter that I wanted to become a part of this team, and I love it.
Cool.
All right, Nolan.
For me, I originally grew up in Oskaloosa, Iowa. So growing up, Tyler Sash was my hero. Loved everything about the guy.
That's a good hero.
Yeah, no, he was awesome. Rest in peace. But yeah, so I always was a huge Hawk fan growing up. Wanted to help the team. Got to college, and it was just something that was an opportunity. It took a lot of work to kind of wiggle my way in, but I have interest in sports business and just kind of being around the game, and it was awesome going from being a freshman and you're kind of on your own, and then I got on here and it's like I'm back with the team. So that was really good for me. It's been awesome. It's just having a general interest kind of brought me, and I never would have thought it's turned into what it is now, and just like where it's headed, and just kind of everywhere we've been as a crew. It's just been unbelievable, really. So it started off as just a little bit of interest, and it grew into something way bigger than that. And so, yeah, it's been an awesome 4 years.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I'm kind of along the same path where growing up, I played sports, always loved sports. Knew like when I wanted to go to college, I wanted to like work with football because football's always been my favorite. So one day I was talking to one of my professors about it, and he pointed me towards this job. He gave me the current head manager's phone number. I shot him a text, and he kind of walked me through the process, and I was able to get an interview, get in, and
cool.
Best text I've ever sent. I'm here now a couple years later, and I'm loving it.
I was going to ask you guys a little bit more about that. You hit on that perfectly. If there's a high school student that is, thinking about going to the University of Iowa and would love to be an equipment manager and aspires to maybe do that as a career someday, what would be some tips you guys would give them on being able to get into a role like that?
I would say just find who is more or less in charge, or find somebody just in the program, just scratch and claw to get an email, a number, and don't leave them alone until they tell you stop bothering me. That's how you got to be. You got to be aggressive. You got to, you got to be able to pitch yourself, and you got to just be able to make it happen on your own. No, if you're trying to just fill out an application and cross your fingers and hope it happens, you're probably not going to like what happens. You really got to be able to sell yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing. But yeah, what do you guys have to say?
Yeah, I would say just never stop networking, because you never know who knows who.
Mm-hmm.
So, you talk to a professor, you talk to one of your friends, and they may know a manager or someone that works in the equipment room, something along those lines. They give them your contact, you shoot them a text, like you're in the process. And then after that, you just got to work hard and show them you belong here. So you never know who knows who. So just always be doing that.
Yeah. Another thing is you never know, or sorry, I have totally blanking what I was. Oh no, I have it. It's one thing to show interest once, but showing interest over and over and over, and just not leaving a person alone, or whoever you want to be working for or doing, just kind of like relentlessness will get you so far. Like it's like I said, showing interest once is one thing, but if you're showing interest every week for 6 weeks, then it's hard not to notice you.
Mm.
Okay. All right. So take us kind of go ahead then, you get the position, then take us kind of through what your normal day is like. You don't have to get into the weeds per se, but what from morning to sundown between
balancing game day.
Game day and just maybe even a normal day, balancing school and this work. So kind of take us through both, I guess, if you want.
Sure. So I guess we can just start let's start with like a practice day. Like let's say just during the season, like a regular Wednesday. We'll get in here anytime from like 6:30, 7:15 at the latest. And, we try to get here an hour before practice starts. That gives us a good amount of time to set everything up, get everything where it needs to be. have a little downtime to throw the football around. We like to play 5-on-5 or whatever, 6-on-6. Get a little toolbox prep in every day, just a little bit, brick by brick, as we like to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, we start pretty early in the morning. We'll have practice. Obviously, during practice, we're running all around, trying to be everywhere at once. We have 12 guys, so we're pretty well staffed, but it is still sometimes a challenge just to have guys where they need to be at all times. It's an operation because at times we'll have practice and then there's a caterer coming and we got something else going on where that needs guys. So it's just a constant balancing act throughout those busy days. But I'll have one of these guys say something else.
Yeah, and then going back to practice, each manager is assigned a position. So I'm with linebackers, Nolan's with DBs, and Brock's with quarterbacks, and then each manager's at a different position. So we help that specific coach during practice, during those individual drills. And then as they move towards more of a team period, like offense versus defense, we also have different responsibilities. And you just kind of communicate with your coach, like what they want you to do, anything specific, and just try to be there to help so the players can play and the coaches can coach.
Yeah, they say the best manager is one that's not noticed.
Well, that's true. That's a good point. And I think Hawkeye fans do notice you guys though, because we appreciate your hard work, and we see you guys busting your tail, getting the team ready, and you guys aren't doing anything to try to get attention. We just notice it because I think as Iowans, people that come from Iowa, you appreciate people that bust their tail and work hard, and you guys definitely stand out when you do that.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, we're definitely just a bunch of blue collar guys who, yeah, you said it. We're just making the wheels turn behind the scenes. We definitely don't do it for the appreciation, but we love the support we get from, guys like you, people watching the pod. We appreciate it. It's honestly kind of unbelievable the support we get in the role we're in. It's like, it's nothing I ever thought it would be, honestly.
When people enjoy what they do too, that kind of exudes the positive energy and people are attracted to that. And so you guys having fun doing what you're doing and pulling Mattison and stuff like that, like it's a positive vibe that people enjoy and love.
Here he is right here.
Oh yeah.
I was just going to say, what's Max saying to this? Is he nodding over there?
He's over here having his pre-lunch.
All right. Max, do you have to babysit these guys all the time and keep them in line? Yeah, all right. We thought so.
They don't do it.
Yeah. Well, they need somebody like you to keep them in line and keep them working. If not, they're gonna stray from the path.
They do it anyways, and I keep telling them what to do, but they don't do anything. They think they know everything, but they don't.
Okay. Well, he is a vital part of this crew. It's good. Everybody has their role.
Yep.
We need somebody to put down these Dr. Pibbs. We love Max. He is
That's awesome.
I keep waiting for Max to tell him to get off his front yard. He's your kids.
Max, I'd say you're like director of culture around here. What do you say about that?
Yeah.
That's an important role.
So guys, you know what, we've established the professionalism, the seamlessness. We don't really know, so you got to fill us in. Nothing ever goes completely the way it's supposed to. So I want to hear from each one of you guys, maybe a quick hit story on something that didn't quite go right and left you scrambling to try to connect the dots.
Yeah, I have plenty of stories.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of which one.
Yeah, that kind of jumps out right away is just like Max mentioned, our coach comm machine for our headsets that all our coaches wear. Usually it works seamlessly, it works perfectly, but every once in a while, I don't know if it's something with the cell towers or what, but they're not working and the coaches can't communicate with each other, and that does not lead to happy conversations. So we have to take a headset and run it to the middle where our guys work on it quick or try to figure out what's wrong, whether it be something like the cell towers, it's just like maybe it's like a setting that's wrong. But yeah, that has led to a couple kind of
just hectic times, really hectic times.
It's tense,
tense moments for sure.
So that's kind of one thing that jumps out.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I think we got two from Iowa State. I'll let Brock tell first, and I'll get the second one.
So I do have a pretty good story from Iowa State. 2019, you guys probably remember we had a rain delay.
Mhm.
Yep.
So it actually got put out into the media that some of our managers ran to just different grocery stores to get sandwiches and things like that. So I was actually one of those guys that took off. And basically, Coach Doyle came up to a few of us and was like, we basically just don't have enough, whether it's sandwiches or fruits or vegetables,
fruit,
whatever.
yeah,
We don't have
everything.
enough to supply through the whole rain delay. So he just gave us the P card and we took off in the van and yeah,
Police escort. It was we were
got
got the
a
whole
police
escort.
escort, yeah.
Everything.
Wow.
there were 3 of us and we just ran to like every Walmart and Fairway we could find, and we were just shoveling sandwiches off the racks and
Sprinting through Walmart.
sprinting through Walmart, and it's pouring, absolutely pouring.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And,
Shout out. Sorry, go ahead. Bro.
yeah, and we got it all back and shoveled it into the locker room and yeah, so
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Shout out. Currently the assistant director of football operations at Memphis. Shout out Aaron Bowling. He was the driver, so he was high stress that day, but he handled it pretty well.
I think Austin Black, another former manager, was with us. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Currently at Northern
got it
Illinois
done.
himself.
Yeah.
Okay. See, it's stuff like that like Hawkeye fans don't know about. That's so important to, being there to support the team so they can perform on the field. So that's, I don't know, that's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so Nolan, you didn't have one yet. So
Yeah, so I have one from this previous year at Iowa State. This one isn't nearly as hectic as Brock's, but it was a very hot day, if you guys remember, very hot. And we brought the same amount of water and Powerade as we normally do. Well, about maybe say end of first quarter, somewhere from halftime, end of the first quarter, we ran out of water. We're out of water. Of course, this is how we do it. We have a couple different sources of water on game days.
Mhm.
So obviously the players would have never ran out themselves. That would have been fine. We can get water at the stadium and put them in the Gatorade jugs and in the bottles, but we also have a cooler on the sideline for everybody. It can be players or staff or coaches or whoever it may be, bottled water and bottled Powerade. Well, we were out at the end of the first quarter, so we were scrambling a little bit. We ended up getting with was Iowa State's equipment? Iowa State Patrol. Yeah,
Wow.
we hooked up with them, and I think we ended up getting some water door-dashed over from Hy-Vee. So we avoided we avoided going dry. Yeah, we avoided the drought on the sideline. But yeah, that was just stressful times. There's just, there's so many moments where you're trying to figure out a problem by like you have a 10-minute time frame and you're trying like heck to trying to figure it out. And it's just
Yeah.
you gotta love those high pressure moments. Bill Belichick said it's better than being a plumber.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, that's a good point.
if
Go
it
ahead,
was
Jerry.
easy, anybody could do it, guys.
Yeah.
So
One thing that I think fans really, really want to know about, and it's just the world that we live in now, during the time periods when we do wear alternate uniforms and, an alternate helmet, I know people get pretty hyped about it. Fans get excited about it because we're a very tradition-rich program. So we don't do it very often. It's a rare thing. What is it like for you guys? When do you get to see the gear, what it's going to be? Do you have to keep it secret from people, like so it doesn't leak out? Tell us about that process and how fun or stressful that can be.
So some of those alternative uniform like game days are a lot more planned out. Like I know like the Penn State one in 2019 where we were all gold, we had that planned in the summer. But like some of them are, if all of a sudden we're undefeated and we have a big game against, another undefeated team, then we might do it on the fly a little more or less. So it's kind of, it varies on how that goes. But, so we'll have to keep some of them a secret. Yeah. But honestly, the biggest thing for us, we love the alternate uniforms too, but it is a lot more work on our end because we have to strip all the helmets, clean them, recondition them, and then put the new decals on, which is just it adds an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours to our usual Sunday process. So, and then that next week we have to do the same thing to revert back to the normal helmets or uniforms or whatever it may be. So we love the alternate uniforms. It definitely gives us a little bit of an edge with the fans and just in the general hype of everything. But it is a little bit more work on our end. So
Then note to self: don't ever take a job at Oregon because that would be a pain.
No kidding. Yeah, they're crazy over there.
So, is there anything in? Can you tell us? Give us a snippet. Is there any sort of anything in the pipeline, like a little word, like that? Maybe there might be something coming around the bend for the 2022 season.
I got nothing for you. I got nothing.
I didn't figure.
Nothing. I wish I could tell you something. Yeah, we really don't have any. I'm not even hiding anything from you. We actually don't have anything, and
No.
right now, but yeah, hopefully a little closer to the season, we'll see. We'll see what's we got.
We've already established, that Nolan and Matt, you guys are done. So it's really Brock that's got to answer, because wouldn't he be the guy that might be in the know here for what's coming up next year?
Yeah, I'm in grad school right now, but I do have one more season.
Oh, you do have one more.
So yeah, I'll be graduating in December. So yeah, it'll be Brock and I will kind of be the oldest managers at that point.
Look at you guys. You were right there to take the pressure off Brock. So, I mean, that's teamwork.
We always got each other's backs.
So is there any sort of like combination that you guys are the biggest fans of? Because, this is one of the few times we get to talk to the Iowa Hawkeye football equipment managers. That yellow face mask that we put on the helmet for the Penn State game was such a clean but yet traditional look. That was a helmet that I saw. I could see us wearing that on a regular basis because it stays with the tradition, but that really makes that helmet pop, that gold face mask. What's some of your guys' favorite combinations and things that we've done that you've been able to be a part of?
You want to go with your
Yeah,
favorite?
I can go first. Mine is personally the gold out uniforms, like you were talking about. I love at first wasn't sure how all gold was going to look, but especially on some of our like bigger farm boys, our linemen, they're not the flashiest guys, but I mean, I loved it. The thing I loved most about it was just the wings on the side of the jersey.
Yeah.
Like the tribute to Hayden. I know Greg liked that a lot too. Anytime we can give a little tribute to those late teams, I think that's really cool. And so that's why I love that. I love that combo.
Yeah. We got to do that version, that exact uniform, but do it in all black. Do a black one. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, just reverse it all. Yellow numbers, yellow wings. Oh my gosh, how sick would that be?
That would be awesome.
It would definitely be good. One of my favorites. I was not a student manager at this time, but we got a little something right here. Obviously, everyone knows what game this is from.
Oh yeah,
fun game.
Iconic.
Yeah, I was a freshman at the time, so I was watching from the student section, but that was definitely a fun game to be at as a fan. And I couldn't imagine like how fun it would be in the locker room after the game and celebrating like that.
Yeah, that would be unbelievable.
You have a game going on like that, guys. How difficult is it to keep your attention on your job? Because just the way that game went. I mean, that was just something that you just. Was it really difficult? I mean, were you just kind of catching yourselves? You wanted to keep watching what was going on, or
I would have been worthless. Like I probably would have gotten. I'd have been running on the field, getting jacked up, like because being such a diehard fan. It would be very hard. I would think from your perspective to stay professional.
Yeah, I'd think the most comparable game for us, and like to the Ohio State game, would probably be this year's Penn State game. That was pretty hectic. It can get hard to keep your attention, but at the same time, you got to bring yourself in and realize that I don't want to be like the energy on the sideline that jinxes us or like gets ahead of ourselves or like, you're all just trying to move as one. So we obviously celebrate on the sideline when something great happens, but you're pretty quick to kind of bring yourself in and just get back on your job, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Cause like on the sideline, like even though like most of our work is done before the game, like we still have jobs to do during the game. And if we're not doing those jobs, someone's going to notice, whether it's a coach, a player, another staff member. So we always got to be sure we're doing those things because even the little things can help like affect the team performance.
Right.
Well, this is if I'm getting a little geeked out, I'm sorry. This would be like a kid getting to talk to the CEO of Toys R Us for me. Like I'm like, diehard. I have a slew of Hawkeye stuff behind me and I've, collected my whole life. So you guys are like the gatekeepers to like one of the what places I'd like to see more than any place in the whole entire world. So
love that. Yeah, no, that makes us feel great. That's we love doing it. And it's great to know that there's people out there that have such an interest in what we do. No, it really is awesome. It's something I personally definitely can take for granted sometimes.
Yeah, we all can. I think we all can in life. That's just natural human nature. But it's. I think that's good. You kind of take a step back and be like, yeah, I got a sweet gig.
Yeah, it's definitely a good reminder. It's for sure. You hit it right on the head.
You guys are too young for the Seinfeld reference, probably, but as we say, the Hawk's Nest is real and it's fabulous. So
you guys go back and look it up. It'll be worth
go
your
back
time.
and look it up. But so going on that part, because Adam's not the only one. Adam interviewed Greg Morris early last year, probably about a year ago or close to it, and Greg talked a lot about players wanting to kind of take stuff out with them personally, and kind of being known for the fact that we can't give that stuff up. Those are dollars and everything. How difficult is it for you guys? Do you ever get caught in the middle of that, or is it just something where you can just say, "Hey, how do you guys handle that?"
Yeah, I think
he's our quarterback manager right here. He's Mr. Football.
And what is it you get the most requests for?
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit in terms of the footballs that we manage. It can be tough. I completely understand why our players would want to bring a football home or just take a football out and throw it around for a while with some receivers or whatever, because after all, they're just trying to get some extra work in. Totally understand, but it is definitely our responsibility to watch after the footballs and make sure they're locked up after practice or after a game and make sure we get them all back. So it's definitely tough. You don't want to be the bad guy with the players, but there are times where we have to put our foot down and make sure we have all our equipment accounted for and make sure it's back and locked up and locked away. So it is a little bit stressful. That's kind of one of the more stressful parts of the job, but
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. They're probably on your case constantly trying to work you over to get things. I interviewed, oh geez, why am I drawing a blank? James, Greg's son. And, he said guys used to, give him a hard time. They're like, why can't I get an extra set of gloves? It's like, you got a job to do. You got a budget you got to stay within. And if you blow that budget out of the water, that's all you get.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, and football players are not the most remembering and accountable people when it comes to equipment. They seem to lose stuff at a pretty high rate. But no, you guys hit it on the head. It is a balancing act sometimes, and as much as we are friends with some of the guys in the locker room, sometimes we just got to put our foot down and take care of what we need to take care of, I suppose.
Yeah, and take us into as we talk about Greg, it come up a couple times here, but I mean working for Greg as well. Greg's a great guy. He's been nothing but helpful with us. But I mean, he seems very much like a buck stops here type of guy too. I mean, tell us about the influence he's had on what you do, and in situations like that, I get the feeling that it's just like what, you guys have the liberty that if they're not going for it, you just say, hey, go talk to Greg.
That's
talk about it.
How it is, Jerry.
Yeah, talk about his influence. Talk about his influence as a man, as you guys have worked for him.
I mean, for me personally, I love Greg just in the sense that he has had our back since day one. Being a manager, sometimes we can feel like we're getting pulled every which way, whether it be operations, equipment, coaches needing certain things, whatever it may be. Sometimes we just get pulled a lot in different directions. And Greg's always been really good about, I guess, kind of prioritizing our time and prioritizing just our efforts and just making sure they're at least appreciated, if at the very least, So we really appreciate him in that sense. But I'll let Brock and Matt hit a couple different points if they got some.
Yeah, I would definitely say he's really instilled a good work ethic in us. He always says never be afraid of your first job, never be afraid to work. And I believe all 12 of us we do a lot of work here. There's some long hours during camp and on road trips and stuff like that. And all of us are just ready to go, nose to the grindstone. Because realize the schedule doesn't revolve around us; it revolves around the team, the game next week and the next game. So we have to have certain things done at certain points. Then that does result in some long hours. But knowing it has to get done and knowing we're on a schedule has really prepared us for after this job, whether we want to work in football or get a different job outside of sports when we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would say the best thing that I've learned from Greg, and he's made sure that he's taught us this over and over, is that communication is key, honestly. In a big Division I program like this, you have to communicate well. There's so many staff members and players and coaches that for this operation to work well, you have to communicate well. And I mean, we've seen that firsthand, and I think we've grown to understand how important that is, and we do it to a T here in the equipment room.
One of the things I love about Greg is he comes across as such a patient guy and very calculated with his efforts. And is he back there barking at you?
Yeah.
Quit listening in, Greg.
Yeah, Greg, come on.
Yeah.
If you're going to listen in, you got to be on the broadcast. Otherwise, leave us alone.
But I feel like there's a lot. I always kind of sense there's a lot of parallels with the coaching staff's demeanor and Greg's demeanor. I feel like it's very seamless, very professional business, but at the same time has his guys back. So that's the cool part about it is, when I interviewed Greg over a year ago, I was like, I sense a lot of, the consistencies with the coaching staff with Kirk and Phil and the other guys in there. It seems like it bleeds across the whole entire football program, not just with the coaching staff.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He runs a tight ship back here. So it definitely.
You have to, I'm sure.
Somebody knows what they're doing and, isn't afraid to tell you something you don't want to hear. And it's, that applies more to the players than us sometimes.
Yeah.
But, No, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Jerry, we need to ask him, what did you guys end up doing for dinner in Lincoln on Thanksgiving? Because Greg messaged us and Jerry and I did not coordinate well with our responses. We threw up about 4,000 freaking answers on Greg. And he was probably like, all right, guys, like I got it. That's enough. And so we're like trying to find places for you guys to go. And it's like everywhere was closed. And then I had a friend of mine that is in the restaurant industry. So then I got some numbers from him. So where did you guys end up being able to eat that night?
I didn't go on the
trip. So early crew, the night before we went, this was the night before Thanksgiving. So we ate at the Brazilian Steakhouse downtown Lincoln.
Okay.
I can't.
It was like Rodizio.
Rodizio's, yes.
Something along those lines.
Yes.
Okay.
That was excellent.
That was one of the best meals I've ever had in my life, actually.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. I hate to give credit to Lincoln, but, give credit where credit's due.
They do have some good restaurants there.
Yeah.
What did we do the night before?
No, that was the night before. Once we just sit in the restaurant, and then at night we.
Yeah, that's right. So there wasn't really much open, so we ended up just eating the hotel and
Okay.
Hotel food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam, I don't know about you, but I was hoping for a good old Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler, like where they responses say we didn't spend a single dollar in Nebraska. We went to Council Bluffs.
Oh, man. That would have been great. That would have been great. Oh, that's I would be lying if I said if I needed gas around Omaha and I was close to Council Bluffs, I do cross the border if I can, get my gas, get what I need, and then come back over. So people, my friends,
to stay in the state. Thank you.
Yes.
So, guys, on that note, then road venues, road schedules. How much of a wrench does that throw in your weeks? Then do all of you guys go on the road trips, or is it only a select few? Or how does that work? And what are each one of you can give what your favorite road venue is in the Big Ten?
Sure. So for every road game we'll have, for most road games, I should say, if we're super far away, like say Penn State, Rutgers, Michigan, I know we don't send one, but we usually send 4 guys the day before. So for a Saturday game, they'll leave on Thursday. An early crew that drives, goes with the truck, sets up the locker room the day the team is traveling, and kind of just gets everything set up at the hotel, even stadium, just kind of how we kind of set up the foundation that day. So that's 4 of the managers, and then the other 8 will travel with the team. So yeah, all of our managers do travel with the team. So that's awesome. I know that is not like that's not for everybody, or that's not all schools bring all their managers. Like we get treated very well here as far as managers go. Like, for example, I know I talked at the Outback Bowl in 2018. I'm going on a little tangent here, but I talked to the state head manager, and he said their first year, all they get as far as compensation is books. That's all they get. I guess it really does mean more, but yeah, we're very lucky. We're very lucky. We are. Sorry, I kind of went off my own thing there, but
no, that's totally cool. And I love the reference to it does mean more. I totally got where you're going on that one. What are the odds? A lot of professions have take your child to work day. What about take your 40-year-old friend Adam to work day for a day?
I think
what are the odds?
Yeah. I'm gonna defer that one to Greg, but
yeah, we're getting out of this COVID mud. I think it's every day is looking better for you, Adam.
All right. Keep me in mind, Greg. I want to take your 40-year-old friend Adam to work day. I would be like a kid in a candy store. It'd be amazing.
So
Greg,
guys,
if we hit 1,000 units on our best crew gear, then you have an open invite.
I got some. All right, I have expectations. Let's do it.
I like how they did that. They put you on a little bit of a commission system, Adam. That's
Well, if
nice.
you got deep pockets, Adam, you could just buy it yourself. Yeah.
They're going to be like, we got 999 orders from a guy named Adam in Nebraska. It's wow, that's crazy.
You're going up on the wall in the equipment room if you do that.
Don't tempt me.
Don't tempt him, guys. Don't tempt him. But hey, we didn't finish out though. What are each one of you? What are your favorite road venues?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I can start. I've enjoyed, honest to God, every road trip that I've been on. Some of my most memorable are probably like going to Maryland. I just think it's fun to travel, and of course, bowl games are a blast. Traveling out to bowl games are so much fun. I don't know why, but I've always said that my favorite venue, my favorite stadium to go to was Michigan. I just thought the Big House was really historic and just left a pretty good impression on me. And I loved how like both teams came out of the same tunnel. I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, that was my favorite stadium. But other than that, all road trips, we have fun. We enjoy it. And yeah, they go by fast, but we love it.
And maybe part of my question was too about what the most accommodating, like some of the best facilities, the stadiums that have the best facilities to work with too.
Hate to say it, but best away locker room is probably Iowa State.
Really?
Yeah, because it used to be their locker room, and then they did some remodeling, some more stuff, and got some more facilities. But yeah, hate to give them credit, but it's true.
There's definitely a couple different aspects with that question. Like best environment to go play in. Iowa State always, they hate us, we hate them, so it's always fun.
It's an awesome environment.
Yeah. Penn State, that's a very awesome crowd and stadium to play in. But then when it comes to most accommodating and like best locker room, like Minnesota has a really nice locker room because
it's new.
Played there for a little bit, so I had to meet like some NFL standards. And like most accommodating for like get in, get out, like load the truck.
I liked Indiana.
Yeah,
Indiana's a good one.
Indiana was right. Indiana, like the truck could back up like almost to the locker room. Maryland, the truck could back up almost to the locker room. Or at a stadium like Minnesota, there's a loading dock like halfway around the stadium from our locker room. So we got to push everything halfway around the stadium. Got to get up on the truck. I go back and just keep making trips back and forth. So there's a bunch of different aspects when you say best stadium. But the best stadium is always the one we can win in. So
yeah. Well, the other side to that coin, though, guys, is what's the worst facilities and why is it Rutgers?
None of us have been to Rutgers.
None of us have been to Rutgers.
Really?
I'll be there this fall.
Yeah.
So we can get back to you on that. But
it'd be Northwestern, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Northwestern is a very small locker room. Maryland had a very small locker room.
Purdue, terrible.
Purdue's not a good locker room.
Basically a shed.
Yeah.
Really?
Michigan was not that good of a road locker room.
A lot worse than you'd think. I would say I don't want to get out of the best stadiums before we got to mention Camp Randall. It really is an awesome stadium. Like I hate to give so much respect to the rivals, but as far as just pure stadiums go, Camp Randall is really cool. And I would say the best city for us to go out to or go into would be like Minnesota, Minneapolis. I really like just the atmosphere and like kind of like everything leading up to the game in Minneapolis. So. But yeah, back to the worst facilities. The Northwestern, Purdue, first names come to my mind.
Yeah. Well, I think I saw Northwestern's getting a big upgrade over the next few years, so that is much needed for a guy that's I've been to every Big Ten stadium, but Ohio State's the only one I haven't been to, which I'm hitting this fall since we're going there. Northwestern definitely is not up to par from a fan perspective to the rest of the conference. Yeah. In your guys' surroundings there, what type of things, is there anything there you can kind of show us for Hawkeye fans out there to, like I said, a kid talking to the CEO of Toys R Us, any cool things you guys can show us, like just around the locker room, helmets, anything like that? If not, no big deal.
So right here we have our normal home helmet, home and away helmet, obviously very traditional. We love it. We decal all of these. All these stickers you see, like we put on every Sunday if they get dented at all. So we have Tiger Hawks on both sides, stripe, A&F, wrong way, A&F, the front, then we have a back, the 2 numbers, and then the American flag. And then if the player has graduated, so if they're like a 5th-year senior or they graduated before the season, we also put a little grad cap by the American flag.
Okay.
So yeah, and then obviously when something happens, like we wore a Bump Elliott sticker during the Holiday Bowl. So if there's any other alternate decals, we find a spot for those. We put those on. And then like we showed earlier, we have our Ohio State helmet from a couple years ago. Obviously very iconic. Everyone seemed to love this. The game went the way we wanted it to. Let's see. Anything else around here?
Honestly, I'll just show them the equipment room a little bit. Like Greg likes to trade helmets with schools or get school helmets. So he has a nice collection up here that you can see.
Cool. Very
Various
nice.
schools, and then I'll walk over. There's another wall over here. We got some. It's kind of crazy, actually, the collection he's built over the years. Like you got Texas up there,
Wow.
Rutgers, South Carolina, I see, Georgia Tech, UCLA. Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable collection, really.
Is that because a lot of those schools, I don't even remember us playing them. Does he just develop a relationship with those guys and do a trade, or is it usually when we play them?
The Texas ones probably date back to 1984, so they would be before your time, Adam.
Greg just said all those helmets I just showed you on that back wall are all bowl games. All bowl
Okay.
games.
Yep.
All right.
Kind of crazy, really.
Yeah. So we 2 of those Texas, one was 84, and I think the other one was Drew Tate's senior year. I can't remember the year, but anyway.
The Alamo Bowl.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy to look at that. There's a lot of memories there.
Yeah,
no doubt. Before we get off this tailgating stadium debate, I want to ask you guys, where do you guys like tailgate, or where's the bad tailgate spots? Like we get the inside perspective. What's the outside perspective look like?
Jerry, you want to go first on this one?
Adam probably is the best one. I am not as experienced in away games as much as Adam is. I mean, for me, of course, there's no place like Kinnick, and then Nebraska is always fun getting to talk to all the Iowa fans that come over. But beyond that, I don't have, I haven't been to Iowa State in a while. So, Adam, you go ahead. You've got a way more educated response on this.
I would say by far the worst is Northwestern. You go into town, there's not even from a visiting fan perspective, there's not even a Northwestern bar you can go to talk football with Northwestern fans, because that's one of the most fun parts about going to a road game is interacting with the visiting fans and tailgating with them. So not very many Northwestern fans at all. My other distant my least favorite other than Northwestern would have been Maryland when I went, just for the fact that didn't seem like a football focused school. Half the fans we ran into didn't even know what a Tiger Hawk was or who we were. They're very just like they were still like living in ACC land when we were there. So that I would say those are my least favorite. Surprisingly fun is Indiana's a good time. Have a lot of fun.
It really is.
Yeah, it's a cool stadium. The tailgating's right there next to the stadium. A lot of fun. Always have a good time at Illinois. Is a lot of fun. Wisconsin's fun, but they don't have tailgating. It's like you go downtown. We started to tailgate in a parking garage. I'm like, okay, we're not doing this. We got to go out. But those are what I would say would be my favorite and least favorite. But Minnesota's a good time too, because it's right up to the stadium, and I love how they redid the stadium. It's new, but it also has that historic feel to it where if you didn't know any better, you drive by, it looks like 100-year-old stadium, but it's brand new. So I think they did a nice job with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Something really little tidbit about Minnesota. Like 2 years ago, I was on early crew to Minnesota, and we were eating at the Buffalo Wild Wings by the stadium. And Brock was there too. And we had the windows down, and Minnesota was practicing, and you can hear PJ Fleck mic'd up on the loudspeaker. He's like almost like dictator style, like talking. And I don't remember exactly what he said. I remember it being very anti-Iowa. Probably we hate Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just like, if you want a little insight into how PJ Fleck runs his program, that was something we saw that day. That's kind of crazy.
We were actually moving in, too. We were getting all the equipment unloaded, and then we had a bomb threat.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Whoa.
Yeah,
really?
We had a bomb threat in the middle of unloading, and so they ushered us all over, Greg and all of us, over to the barn, and we hung out in the barn for a while, and
Max did it. We're saying Max.
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 Max wanted to get out of some duties, so we phoned it in. Huh?
Yeah.
One thing I think a lot of people don't really realize unless you go there, like Minnesota does not like us. They genuinely dislike us. I feel like Minnesota feels the way about us like we do personally about Nebraska. But yeah, that's interesting. Before we let you guys go, because we know you got a busy day too, and I'm not sure if Jerry has anything else. We really need to ask you guys about your rivalry trophy games with the other managers, because that's an important part. I feel like going into a rivalry game that sets the tone. I'm gonna, I'm a little bit superstitious, and when you guys pull those out, I feel a lot better the next day going into the game. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not joking around. Tell us what the prep is like for those games and how serious those get.
It is way more serious, and there's way more prep than there ever should be for a flag football game, dude.
Yes.
We are sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, it's not like your intramural, like college intramural flag football game. It's almost full contact. Like blockers and D line are fully engaged. There's been injuries. One of our managers got a concussion a couple years ago. One of the Wisconsin managers actually tore his ACL a couple years ago.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah. So it gets pretty competitive. The Rusty Toolbox itself is older than the Heartland Trophy. So like while the Wisconsin-Iowa rivalry has been longer, but the manager trophy is older than the actual team trophy.
Yeah.
So we always like to talk about that. Sadly, in 2020, the game got canceled, but we are on a 2-game win streak right now.
Should be on a 3.
Should be on a 3-game win streak, but yeah, we're gonna try to keep it rolling this fall. But yeah, it's we practice for over a month ahead of time.
Oh, easily over a month. I would say closer to 2-3 months sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
a couple practices a week. We draw up a playbook. We base it off what we do last year. Add a couple of wrinkles.
Yeah, we watch film. It's the whole 9 yards. Like
yes.
We try to practice when we're going full speed, like 2 or 3 times a week, full cleats. We try to get like some other guys like externally, like we've gotten like a frat to come in here before and play us, or like a intramural team. So yeah, shout out to those guys on campus that have prepared us in the past. They're almost like our scout team for the toolbox. But yeah, it's way more intensive. My knee still hasn't been the same since this last year's game. I'm serious. It hasn't been the same.
If you're looking for honorary equipment managers for that game ever, you're looking at 2 guys that would be more than willing and proud to serve.
I won't go too far into detail, but after we won this previous year, I was next to useless the next day. I won't go into too much detail of why that is, but I was probably the worst. I was not the best crew in the land on that day. I was the best crew, but I was not that next morning.
You were the best celebrator in the land, I take it.
Yeah, exactly.
But my first year, one of the older managers said this, and like I still say it's very true. Like, we're all washed up high school athletes. Like, this is the most important sporting event we're gonna play in the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
So we take it seriously. Like, we all want to beat them. They want to beat us. Like the game, like there's some trash talk. Like, we're not friendly with them. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So guys, where does the toolbox reside then when you win it? Is it anywhere around there, or does it have its own case somewhere, or what happens with the?
It does.
It's back in our locker room. We can go back there if you want. It's just a short walk.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Let's do it.
We can go there. We can move it. This mobile energy, baby. I got it.
They need to take that. They need to take that trophy out, like in the football facility, and put it in its own case.
One day we almost took one of the trophy stands and put it on there. I don't think that it was during the season, but we decided we didn't want to step on any feet or upset anybody that would get upset with it, because I think it was just after we had just lost a trophy game, maybe, and we were thinking about just throwing the toolbox on there
to fill it up.
Probably a bad idea, but we wanted to do it. But
yeah,
no, I agree.
It sounds like a funny idea, but I think you guys probably did make the right decision there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think so. We have a good feel for kind of the general vibe around here and kind of the attitude.
Oh.
We got to reflect that at all times.
Jerry, I'm going to tell you already, this is the most fun I've ever had in an interview. Not even close. This is number one for me by far.
It's his personal North Pole.
Oh, absolutely. While we're walking, tell everybody that's listening, there's Best Crew in the Land t-shirts. I've seen them. They're awesome. What's the best way that anybody can get? Are you doing hoodies too, or just t-shirts?
Yeah, we have t-shirts, we have long sleeves, we have t-shirts, and then we're doing hoodies. I believe they do have a hood on them. I don't think they're crew neck. So,
Okay.
yeah. So now we're back here in the manager locker room. This is kind of where the boys we're always at if we're not in
Okay.
practice or we're not working. This is kind of where we're at, and then back here is where we keep it. There she is.
Nice.
Oh,
That is fantastic.
very
That
cool.
is fantastic. So guys, we're kind of bringing this to a close here. Tell us about your postgraduate plans. You've already mentioned a couple guys that have went on to other universities. You said some stay in sports. What are each one of the three of you guys planning postgraduate, or have you gotten that far yet?
Yeah, so I'm actually majoring in finance, and then post graduation, looking to get in and be a financial advisor somewhere.
Cool.
Not the sports avenue that a lot of our managers take, but
Yeah.
it's something I've been passionate about, and I'll probably coach and stay involved in football.
He's a future Bitcoin millionaire. He doesn't want to tell you.
My financial advisor's former Hawkeye Brady Ross.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't know he did that. That's cool.
Yo, the guy
Not either.
the guy knows his stuff.
How's he doing?
He's doing great. He's doing really, really well. He is passionate about what he does, and he's loving life. Things are going really well for him right now. He's I want to say he's back in his hometown. I can't remember the name of it right now.
He's in Humble.
Humble. Yep. So he's doing very, very well. He's
good,
kicking butt at his job.
Sweet.
That's good to hear.
All right, Nolan. Let's go to Matt. Let's switch it up. Matt, what do you got planned postgraduate here?
So yeah, after I do graduate, I do want to stay in sports. So I want to work in football operations when I'm done. As a manager, we kind of help Greg with the equipment. We also help Ben Hansen and Paul Federici with our operations department. So I kind of want to go that path when I'm done. So I'm already starting to network, trying to get stuff going with that, and see where I land next year.
Okay. All right, Nolan.
So I'm actually looking to get into like player representation, kind of like the marketing, sports business side of things. So, yeah, I really don't want to like get into that career right now because of, obviously there could be some conflict of interest, but that's kind of where I'm headed. I network, but I don't want to, necessarily get too involved in things too early and jump the gun on that. But yeah, I just love being around the game, and I kind of have that parallel interest in the marketing side of things and branding side. So yeah, we'll see what we can make happen there. And with NIL on its way, and here, who knows what that's going to look like in the next 5 years. So yeah, definitely exciting, but just trying to enjoy this last semester on campus more than anything right now.
And if you guys want to send us over the link to the Best Crew in the Land shirts, we'll share that out and really help you guys get exposure for these shirts and really support you guys, because we really do appreciate all the hard work that you guys do. And I know you don't do it to be noticed or for the glory of it or anything like that, but Hawkeye fans know that you guys put in some heavy work and work your tails off, and you do a lot for the football program, and they can't do what they do on the field if they don't have you guys. So thank you for all you guys do.
Right. For any fans listening, you better make sure you slug a couple for us on game days, because we got to stay. We cannot be doing that. So next time you think you can't put one more down, think about the managers that can't put
that can't do that.
I appreciate that motivation.
So guys, I think something else that got glossed over real quick is you've got a fan event that you're planning too, I think, out in Solon, don't you?
Yes. February 26th, 6 p.m. at the Mexican place in town, Frida Kahlo. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. February 26th, 6 o'clock. It'll be a good time. We're just gonna hang out. Really, nothing more than that. We're gonna cal a helmet. But yeah, so if you and the fam aren't doing anything, please come out. It should be a good time. And if it goes well, we'll hopefully be trying to go around the state a little bit more. But we'll see what kind of feedback we get with that.
Yeah, shoot us all that information over too. We'll get that all shared out so everybody knows about that as much as possible, because I think a lot of Hawkeye fans would love to get to meet you guys. So
yeah,
absolutely, we'd love to meet them.
Unfortunately, us in Nebraska, I think that's the same weekend we've got wrestling and basketball in Lincoln, but we'll have to double check that. But anyway, if not, we got to get over there. So
absolutely, hopefully we'll be doing them again, but we'll have to see.
Okay. Guys, Adam's love of memorabilia has been well known through this interview, but I got a lot of respect for you. I run inventory for a living, and so I can understand Greg's Greg's charge and what a good job you guys are doing for him with all the problem solving. It does look seamless, and like you said, no news is usually good news if we're not hearing about you. So great job, and keep it up. And we look forward to keeping up with your endeavors, and best of luck to you guys moving forward.
We really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you. It was good talking with you.
Appreciate it.
Man, this was fun. All right, boys, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.